What's going on, guys? So we got a little development update we're gonna check out. I have not seen this before. It's my first time, so I was like, you know what, why not? Let's do a reaction to it and see what they got, in store or what planned for. I'm hoping that a lot of this stuff is gonna get addressed, or they at least know that it's happening. So I don't want to keep this intro too long because it got 20 minutes, and I'm probably gonna chop it up as well, or at least to get to the good part, so it's not wasting too much of you guys' time. So let's just get right to it, man. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Sheffield, England, with my
John
man
Porter.
Ash. You guys should know the CEO of this beautiful game we have called Undisputed.
I like using
and right
Sean
now
Porter.
we're at the Steel City Interactive Studios, and we want to get right to it, man. I told you off air. The first thing I'm gonna ask you, where you been? We ain't heard nothing from you. We ain't heard nothing from the creators. What's going on with this game? There's been an uproar, and I'm sure you're well aware of it.
Yes.
And I think the main thing that the audience needs to know is, number one, that you've seen, you've heard. Furthermore, you're paying attention and you're listening.
I just said that. I was just saying that I hope that they're paying attention. He's just asking the question now, so he still has to get into it. But so far, so good. We'll see.
And you're working on it. So where you been?
So, first of all, great to have you here, Sean. Absolute honor.
I'm nervous, man. I really hope. I don't want this game to die, man.
And look, I think since we launched in October, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. We had amazing number of players, enjoying Undisputed.
At the beginning.
Us as an indie.
Yeah, that was at the beginning. It's the numbers is dropping or dropped drastically. So I don't know how it's looking on the Xbox or the PlayStation side, but I know on Steam we get maybe a little over 1,000 on it. Then that's a good day. So that's got to change, man. It has to change, and that starts by them addressing all of these damn issues. I don't get me wrong. I love the game. I love the game. That's why I don't want it to die. But we'll see.
Independent studio. I'm not going to say we were overwhelmed and everything got on top, but it was an incredible response that we had. And I think over the last few months we've kind of taken stock of everything that's happening out there and reprioritized some of the things that we need to work on. So like everything fans have been saying, we've essentially knuckled down and really kind of honed in on what those important issues are. Because here's, I guess, one of the challenges for us as a studio. We've been developing, Undisputed for a little while now, and even with the early access, with the feedback we had there, it was still a very small, population in terms of testing out various things in the game. And even us as a studio, in terms of finding bugs, finding issues.
That's what it's...
Again, you're talking... whether it's dozens of players, or if we do like a small scale test where it's a couple of hundred players, and now that this is out there in the open, you change that a few hundred, or even from early access with the thousands that we had, we're at like almost 1.4 million now, which is in itself a pretty insane number for an indie studio. So that expands the number of issues players are going to come.
That's another thing too. I keep forgetting that they're an indie studio. I keep forgetting that. I mean, I'm not going to give them no excuses or anything like that, but I do have to keep that in mind to an extent,
Fine for us, right? So some of those have been pretty difficult for us to either replicate and even resolve. So yeah, the last few months has been a case of really prioritizing what our main issues are.
I'm gonna tell you what, though. I'm gonna shake your hand, and I'm gonna say thank you, and I'm also gonna say congratulations. And with that being said, there's another episode we're gonna put on my platform. This one's gonna be a little bit more about the game, for you guys, for the audience, for the players, and things of that nature. But the reason why I'm shaking your hand, and the reason why I'm telling you thank you, is because you brought something to the world that the boxing world, the boxing community, the gaming community hasn't had in over 2 decades. You brought a boxing game to life. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to sit here like you're in a hot seat. I don't want to sit here like, you produced shit, because you didn't produce shit. The fact that you produced something at all, to me, is a big thing. And like I said, another episode, we're going to get into all of that, because I think it's a really amazing story.
Okay, that's true. I agree with him with that. But on the same sense, if there's problems, they need to be addressed. At the end of the day, they have to be addressed. So I do agree with him to a certain extent with that. To a certain extent with that, I do agree. And another thing, I'm not sure. Like, does Sean Porter, does he play the game? Like, does there footage out there like of him like actually playing the game? I haven't seen it, but I haven't been looking for it either. So let me know down below if you guys have seen like gameplay or whatever, or with him actually playing the game. Maybe when they start getting into like the gameplay and all of that, I'll probably be able to tell when he starts talking about it, if he does.
That people should know. You guys know that story. You have more respect for this man. You have more understanding of everything that's going on. All that being said, real quick, what I do want to know is, you launched, I think it was October 6th, if I'm not mistaken, October 12th. What was that feeling like when you made that official launch?
So first of all, appreciate you saying that.
Okay, so right now they're going through the fluff right now.
Listen, you hear everything that's been going on, all that kind of stuff. It pulls away from, it's almost like, it's like a fighter that wins a match, but
yeah, I'm gonna cut this up for you guys a little bit, make it a little bit easier.
I got some things wrong, but I still got the job done. You know what I mean? Like, look forward to the next fight, because the next fight's gonna be much better. So I feel like I know where you're at. You know?
No, look, I do appreciate you saying that, Sean. And yeah, look, I think the build up to October 12, was a pretty big deal for us, because we've been doing this for like 2020. I started the studio with my brothers, right? And that journey in terms of bringing the community along with us and trying to meet those expectations. And that's like, we've set pretty high expectations for ourselves, because we've been saying, hey, this is going to be like one of the most technically advanced boxing games ever, right? So like, if we say
I agree with that,
have to back that up with what we deliver. So there's obviously
some people might disagree with that, but I 100% agree with that. That it has to be the most technical, and even with all of the mistake, like the mess ups and stuff that needs to be fixed, at the end of the day, it's still it just is. You can't deny it. I mean, I guess you can deny it. Some people disagree, but I agree with him with that.
Of like, okay, this is gonna go out to the mainstream, the mass, not just hardcore boxing fans, but your casual boxing fans as well. And that's the thing in terms of making sure we're pleasing everybody. And, we found this even with our early access updates, where we put out an update and half the community might be like, this is amazing. And all of a sudden, the other half that were enjoying it before were like, you've made a few things worse. So, yeah, October 12th, it was a mixture of like,
that's true.
How is this going to be
That's
received?
true.
But at the same time, like, we as a studio, I think we felt a sense of, I guess, pride in what we've been able to accomplish.
Of course.
Because there's a reason why, a licensed boxing game, hasn't been done in like 12, 13 years, because of the difficulties and the complexities around that. So I think, yeah, it was a period of like celebration for us. But at the same time, we kind of thought, okay, it's almost like right now it's gotten real.
Yeah.
Like, now we've really got to kind of hone in on these issues, because like, yeah, it's no longer, a few people that are being affected now. It's like, it could potentially be way more than that. So yeah, it was a period of, I think many things, celebration, reflection, and, setting us up for the years to come,
Since the launch has been about 9 updates, about 9.
So since our early access launch, we've done around 9 updates, as in nine major updates.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We've been, putting out little fixes here and there.
Yeah.
And we do have more updates obviously coming up as well, in terms of some of the main things that players have been asking for, and some of the things that we need to fix as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's some of the stuff we're definitely going to get into. I guess right now, main thing is, do you have an ETA for when those updates are going to start to?
That's what I want to know.
So from a cadence perspective, for us, it's just about making sure that they
Okay, I don't want to hear nothing crazy. We cannot wait any longer. Oh man, I don't even want to hit play. I don't even want to press play.
Are regular, but not like one every 6 months, things like that, right? So we are right now finalizing our next update in terms of
Okay.
going through submissions and making sure that gets approved and it goes out for players to see. So we're not a million miles away from that.
Good.
But yeah, it'll be coming out soon.
Good. I am involved with the game for various reasons. Obviously,
I don't like that
being
answer.
world champion boxer validates me to be in the game. Love seeing myself on TV as a character, but I do have a great producer who is a gaming guy, stays on the games, and he's like, man, you gotta ask this guy about some of these updates.
Okay. So
people been waiting.
all right, well that's good. So that kind of answers my question then when I was asking if he actually plays the game or how much does he actually play it, but he's got one of his boys that play the game and they got questions. That's good. I mean, as long as he's not capping. But let's see what he asks.
On him. Let's kind of go through a little bit of the list. Can we talk about the block stamina?
Yeah, sure. So right now, we've made some adjustments in terms of how that works. Where at the moment in the game, you throw a punch, and the thing is, like, we want to reduce spamming, people just throwing punches all the time. So if you miss a punch in Undisputed, you actually use more stamina.
That's
and
right.
Right now, that's also the same if your punch is blocked.
Okay.
So what we've done is we've reduced that. So if you throw a punch and it's blocked by the opponent, you're not going to waste as much stamina as if you completely missed, because we feel.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense right there. I like that.
Last two punishing. So yeah, that should kind of bring the balance back a little bit. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I had a problem with that.
What, you were spamming punches?
I'm not a gamer, right? So I'm just
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
throwing. I got no stamina whatsoever. But the punches and it's funny because that's how the game works. It's worse to miss a punch than it is to actually hit the gloves or hit the
that makes
something like that.
that makes total
right
sense.
In line with what
actually
is
happens.
Let's just see how
what
much
actually happens. The robes. I didn't even recognize that I wasn't wearing a robe coming to the ring, but I guess that's a big deal to y'all. What's the deal with the robes?
So robes. We've been working on robes for a while. And
what do you guys feel about that? What do you feel about the boxers not having robes? I obviously I noticed it, but it doesn't really, for me personally, it doesn't. I don't really care. I just want the gameplay to be on point, and then they can start worried about all of that other stuff, man. For me, at least, let's get the punches and get all of that, get that working first.
And again, just the technicality.
I will say though, I do want a better. The soundtrack is to me, its soundtrack is garbage. I know they put a few other new songs on of Lupe, and there may be some other stuff they sprinkled in there, but which was okay. But I can't stand the soundtrack. That's one thing that I will kind of like gripe on.
Of making it work for the fighters has been a challenge for us. But you have 6'9" Tyson Fury compared to somebody who's like 5'3", and making everything look perfect, because we've set a pretty high bar as far as the visuals go. So
Game does look good.
We've got robes coming in for marquee fighters in the game. So the likes of Muhammad Ali, Tyson Fury, Canelo, they'll be coming out with robes.
From a creative standpoint, it sounds like that's just the technicalities of making it is just kind of tedious and time consuming.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely time consuming, because
that was a good question.
We've not made this how I guess most studios make fighting games, where we've scanned the entire bodies of our fighters.
Yeah.
Like most combat games, in fact every combat game, they only scan the head, right? And then the artists, they sculpt the bodies and they make them all uniform.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not gonna say it's very easy, because
my body looks just like me. Like I'm not just like my shoulders. I see my body when I look at the video game. So it makes
Mhm.
sense.
And this is the thing, like, you know, from the outside, even me thinking about it, it's like, well, you know, how difficult can robes be?
Yeah.
And us as an indie studio doing this for the first time, you know, we have made.
I
things
would never
hard for
say that
ourselves
because I don't know
by
how
going
that
down the hard route
Mhm.
because
that
we didn't
is.
want to take shortcuts, right? So the fact that every fighter's body is unique to exactly how they were scanned, I didn't want to cut any corners. So, but by doing that,
I
we've
respect
made
that.
things harder,
Respect.
like creating robes for everybody.
Yeah.
So you know, we've got over those hurdles.
Yeah.
Taken longer than I would have liked, but yeah, delighted to say marquee fighters for now
Yeah.
will have robes, and then we'll be looking to expand that out later on down the line.
The marquees, okay? Now everybody's marquee. I hope I make the cut. The online play, I think, is probably
Okay.
the most crucial.
Okay, we get
component
into the juicy
where
details
everybody's
now. Let's
either
go. The juicy
let
stuff.
down or excited about this game. Let's talk about the online play.
Yeah, so look, the online play for Undisputed, it has been pretty much our number one priority for some time now, even during early access. And it's been a real challenge for us in making sure that we're improving
Yeah, it
it.
has.
And yeah, look, we're still looking at how we can improve our online play. But again, I guess going back to what I said about how we've done the ropes, like even with the game, generally when you're making a multiplayer game or even a combat game with two players, you kind of design and you implement everything to make online work very, very seamlessly and very kind of effectively. But for us, we kind of made things hard for ourselves by making the offline play so intricate and the number of moves that are available, the kind of punches that we throw, the physics system that we've got. You know, we did all that.
Why would you do that? I don't understand. Like, why would you do that? Like, like, especially now, like, almost all games is online. Almost all of them. And especially if you're going to do a combat sports game, like a boxing game, like, that you got to have that. That's got to be, like, number one, man. I don't know.
And then it's made, it has made the online play more difficult.
He doesn't sound confident, though. Not to me.
So that is still an ongoing process for us.
Yeah.
Still
that's stressing him out. I could tell.
That we know we're making progress towards fixing.
I heard people be getting robbed in the game.
I mean, listen, we said we're going to make a realistic boxing game, right? So
there it is. When I read it, I was like, "You just getting robbed. That's all."
Wow.
But no, joking aside, things like how scorecards have been calculated. Even that in itself, like we've tried a few different ways of doing that, right? Where
well, let's get the eighth round counting again. I know they had it in the play test. They had it in the play test and it worked fine. I played a few matches. All of them counted the eighth round. Whenever I got to that point, they were all counted. But see, like things like that right there, for me, I think they should have, if they had to just put that out, because I think that's so like game breaking. Not counting the eighth round is horrible. If they could have just put that out while we're still waiting for the rest of the stuff, I think that would have been fine. That's just me. Maybe somebody else, y'all might think differently, but yeah.
Like maybe a point, or maybe a hook's going to get you a couple of points, a power shot's going to get you 3 points, and then in the background, the judges kind of crunch all these numbers, and then they give you a score at the end of the round.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also things like, dodging a punch gets you a point, blocking successfully.
Mm-hmm.
So putting all these things into account, we thought it makes sense, but then like in boxing, that doesn't always translate into what you're actually seeing. Right? Where we've put a change in and we're thinking, how's the judge scored that round?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think the judges in Undisputed, obviously it's all AI driven, right? So for us, it's just about finding that right balance that people feel like they haven't been robbed, or the 50-50s can kind of go either way.
Yeah,
that's the sweet spot we want to hit.
Damn.
Does that count though? Does misses count? Like, do you get penalized for missing punches? Because it doesn't feel like it. I don't know. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if that's what he was saying, but it doesn't feel like all of that stuff matters. It's just about how many punches you land. Doesn't matter how many you miss. If you landed more or you drop their opponent more or whatever, then you're gonna win that round.
Y'all got a job on your hands. Y'all got a job on your hands. I think I got a couple more for you, and we can get out of here. The online multi queue. Can we talk about the online multi queue?
Yeah, so online multi-queue is something that players have been asking for a while. So like for example, let's say if you want to fight in the welterweight division and there's no one in your area that's kind of, people are searching for heavyweights, for example. So what the online multi-queue is, you can select, for example, a heavyweight. So you pick a heavyweight fighter that you want, you pick your welterweight, for example, and then you just say you want to pick a lightweight. So you can have like three fighters that you select, and then it puts you into a queue.
That would be nice.
Whichever kind of fighter you match with, or whichever weight class you match with, it puts
that would be nice, because right now heavyweight, I feel like heavyweight is probably the most division that people is the best division as far as people fighting in, that you'll get a match way quicker. I know, like for like the women's divisions, it's like impossible. I try every now and then to just to see if I get lucky, but it's next to impossible to get a fight in that division. So that would be pretty cool to do that. That would be cool.
Let's talk about the character creator that we got online.
So this is probably one of our biggest kind of requested features.
Okay. Did he just say created player online? Hold up.
We're still in.
Let's run that back.
Let's talk about the character creator that we got online.
So this is probably one of our biggest kind of requested features.
Okay.
We're still in I guess the early phases of getting this in.
That ain't good for you guys that want that.
One of the beauties about Undisputed is the custom character creator, where people are creating themselves or creating whoever they want to create.
That would be nasty though, to have a division like
or wild with that, or even playing in their career with their own custom character. Now
with
people
custom,
want to use those characters online against other players. So that is definitely high on our priority list. We are working towards that.
Kind of like UFC, how they have it. They have like, if you haven't played UFC, they have that where their own section of just created fighters that you can use, and they have like a whole system how you build them and all of that. I never really got into that. I was always just doing the ranked or whatever, just the original fighters. But I had a couple of my boys used to do it. They or still do it to this day, and they love it. That wasn't my thing, but that would be nice for them to have it on this. That would be good. That'd be a good addition.
Yeah, having that brought in as a feature down the line.
Okay. Let's talk about the custom career mode roster.
Okay. Yeah, this has been a big feature that players have been asking for. And again, part of the realism with Undisputed is the amazing roster that we have.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to create a welterweight fighter, start your career as a welterweight, but you want it in the current era, right? So you can start your career and you can include the likes of Canelo and Terence Crawford and yourself, and have all the fighters that we've got in the game. So yeah, you can essentially pick and choose who you want to have featured in your own career.
Gotcha. That all sounds good to me. Did I miss anything? Anything else?
So we've got we've got a couple more things coming in. So your custom career mode fighter, you'll be able to customize things like shorts, gloves, boots, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there's more customization options coming into there.
That's a good addition.
For your fighter as well, as in,
because right now, Jake Paul got that, like with all of the custom, like the trunks and all that stuff. Jake Paul, he has that locked down.
Regular fighters in the licensed roster that we've got. There'll be more customization options in there as well. So that's coming down the line.
Okay, that's
and also there's things like there'll be more free DLC coming down the line. Again, just in terms of more outfits.
We're going to pause on that one. That's a big one. That right there is a big one. That's good. They're going to have to do that, because a lot of, like, we're I wouldn't say we're patiently waiting, but we are, because we're still, for those of us that are still playing the game, we're waiting, we're still with them, So for them to give us like some free DLC, I think that's a good thank you, a good gesture. So I do like that a lot.
choices in terms of your fighters attire.
Yeah.
That's coming through, and like I know, another thing that players have been asking about are our fighters. Like, who else have we got coming into the roster?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
So that is, ever expanding, ever growing, really. So we've got a large number of fighters still left to put into.
You want to give us one? You want to give us a big one?
Yeah, every update that we put out, more fighters will be coming out.
No, he's not going to give us none.
We'll be bringing out free fighters as well. So
yeah, okay, that's good. That's a dub.
We're excited.
That's a dub.
Yeah, for when those free fighters are dropped. So yeah, we've got a lot of updates coming.
Yeah. I want to make sure I note this, and I know. Go back and watch.
I'm going to stop it. Let me see what he's going to say.
Quite a bit during this interview. This is what players have been asking for. This is what players have been saying. And I just want to note that you, sir, along with probably everybody in this building, has been paying attention to the feedback, has been trying diligently to make things work.
I hope so,
better,
man.
Make the game better. And I just want to make sure that, upon us having this first interview that you've done now in what, a couple of months now, just want to make sure that everybody knows, like, this is not, we're closing our eyes to everything that's going on and we're bringing in the dough. You guys are really trying to make this thing well worth everybody's, not only their purchase, but their time and energy to play in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I think for us, we're massively grateful for everyone in our community that's, gone out and bought the game and played the game as well. And, the numbers that
and still playing it.
Players like enjoying the game have been, mind-blowing, frankly, for us. Nice. Like we still have, like, our latest stats we have like 125,000 people playing our game every single day.
Beautiful.
And that for not only an indie studio but a sports title as well.
Okay, so that must be in all platforms. So.
Yeah, 125K every day.
Time wasters out there.
So yeah, I mean, so when we see that, that's right, it gives us a huge amount of confidence in what we've built.
All right, so we're gonna stop it right there. All right, so there you guys have it. They didn't really get too deep into it. I kind of figured they wouldn't. Are you guys satisfied with this? I don't really watch these like that because I always feel like it's gonna end up like this, like how this was. It didn't really answer anything. There's a couple things that I did like that he said. I don't know. All I know is whatever they plan on doing, they have to do it, and they have to do it like soon because it feels like he's saying that, what did he say? 100,000 people, 100,000 people playing every day. There's no cross play on this, right? I'm pretty sure there isn't, right? So it kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. All I know is I want them to succeed. I love the game still with all of the flaws. There's really nothing else to say. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. And until next time, deuces.